the IT department in one of the aggressive firms, they're going to be taking on more architectural kinds of roles, where it was network engineering before. Now you hear network architect a lot more. The silos tend to break down a bit more, where their functions were well defined. Now their functions are sit down with your counterparts and figure out how this thing is supposed to work dynamically under software control. So there's an architectural aspect to the networking roles going forward that's a bit stronger than it was in the past. Those functions were there, but it wasn't something they thought about on a daily basis. Now it's going to be more daily. In the other organizations, it's going to be a little bit less architectural in that way, still point solutions, but they will end up having to expand their skill sets a little bit and think about, okay, I now have some of my network functionality, for example, running in a server. I didn't used to have that before. So now I have to make sure that I'm on the same page with my counterpart in that other group. So there is a breaking down of silos. In fact, that's the way we think about the new IP. The new IP contrasts from the old IP in that old IP was siloed. It worked by itself. It was an island. It was hardware centric. It was rigid. And the new IP is dynamic. It's software controlled. It's agile. It integrates with server and it integrates with storage. There's orchestration that ties it all together, and it's a dynamic and resilient environment where the parts play with each other, because we have some aspects of networking that are deployed in servers and some aspects of servers that need networking in order to, because a server is now distributed, or a compute function may be distributed and needs networking in order to perform its function correctly. A much different IP environment than we had, well, than we even have in many places today. So we're transitioning right now from that old IP to this new IP. What excites me? What excites me is that we're now in a position to where we're engaging with very savvy customers that are able to articulate more of what they want, and we can jointly solve problems in a way that was a bit difficult to do in the past. That sort of, now the standards are about how do we decouple that control from that data in a way that enables innovation to happen very rapidly. In the past, standards were almost a way to impede progress. Somebody would develop a proprietary solution and somebody else would have a proprietary solution, and they were both selling like crazy. As long as you didn't standardize things, they had the world to themselves. And so standards were used almost defensively as this way to get in the way. Now, like, I participate in standards, and it's really about how do we make progress? How quickly can we get to an interoperable world? How quickly can we deploy this SDN revolution? The way I think about new IP, and I had this conversation with someone today, is that he likes to think of SDN as sort of open flow and related things, and NFV is this other thing. And I said, well, we need something to talk about both of these together. And I think new IP is a way that we can talk about both of those together. So we were running a little bit short in our vocabulary, and it's useful to have another word or another phrase that captures the two of these in a bucket.